I woke up at 3 a.m. and discovered the worst thing that could possibly happen. My father's only classic Mustang, a car we'd poured 3 years of sweat and patience into restoring together, was gone. Just gone. I stumbled out into my garage with my pulse hammering, not sure if I was dreaming or in the middle of a nightmare. And for a split second I thought, maybe it was a prank. Maybe one of my old buddies decided to pull something. But the emptiness in that space, the absence of chrome, the oil stain where the front tire usually sat, made it clear someone had actually stolen it. You know that feeling when you realize something precious has been ripped away and there's nothing you can do in that moment except stand there, letting it sink in, cold sweat trickling down your back? Yeah, that happened. Who'd have the guts to do this? First thing that came to mind, the teenage neighbor kid, Kyle, who'd been pestering me for weeks about taking the Mustang out just for a spin. That kid, he had a new BMW at 17, but you could see it in his eyes. Nothing compared to the Mustang. I was this close to calling the cops when my phone rang. And, wouldn't you know it, it's Kyle's mom, Lori. Not just any mom. She's the HOA president, the kind of person who weaponizes bylaws. She's calling to report me for harassing her son. I almost laughed, except, nothing about this was funny. She had no idea who she was dealing with. And the truth. Oh, man. The truth was about to shake this quiet little suburb to its core. I probably should have seen the warning signs from day one. But honestly, who moves to a new neighborhood expecting your biggest headache to come from a friendly, suburban neighbor with a clipboard? I'm Michael Reed, 45, recently widowed, just trying to get some peace after 2 decades as police chief back in Riverside. That Mustang, Boss 429, a real piece of history, wasn't just a car. It was therapy on wheels, a rolling memory of my dad, a place to feel whole again after losing Jennifer. It was worth a small fortune, sure, but you can't price out the hours spent hunched over greasy engine blocks, laughing and cursing, sharing something bigger than horsepower. First time I met Kyle, I was washing the car, classic rock humming, just like every Saturday. Kid pulls up in that shiny BMW, stops dead when he spots the Mustang. Holy crap, is that a Boss 429? He says, and you know what? His excitement felt genuine. He rattles off engine specs, asks smart questions. So I let my guard down, figured maybe I'd found a kindred spirit, someone who got it. His dad was nowhere in the picture, but he talked wistfully about family, and for a second, I remembered being that young and hungry to belong. But the second his mom, Lori, showed up with her clipboard, the mood shifted. She laid it on thick, compliments, big smiles, then suddenly pivoted, dropping hints about quiet hours, unwritten rules. I pulled out my phone, checked the bylaws. Nothing about car washes and rock music. I could see right through it. She wanted control, wanted everything to flow through her. Kyle, meanwhile, kept showing up, snapping pictures, building a little online mythology about his connection to the Mustang. And Lori, always nearby, dropping comments about how much it'd mean for Kyle to experience a classic car, how educational it'd be. Classic manipulation. Now that I look back, she was setting the stage. You know what I mean? At the time, I thought it was just a pushy mom with a spoiled kid, but I had no idea I was being sized up as a mark. Lori was running her own playbook. She started digging up what the Mustang was worth, her eyes lighting up at 6-figure valuations, and suddenly the neighborly conversations got sharp. Meanwhile, Kyle was getting bolder, staging little scenes for social media, bragging about connections he didn't really have. It was all there. The performance, the entitlement, the sense that the world owed him something rare and beautiful because he'd never been told no. The campaign ramped up. Kyle started bringing friends over, staging little interventions in my driveway, telling me how classic cars shouldn't be locked away, that I was robbing history by not letting him put it on TikTok. It was both hilarious and deeply, deeply unsettling. Every day, the pressure escalated. More followers, more likes, more demands. Then one afternoon, after I turned down another one of his deals, now offering me cash to rent the car for content, he lost it. Called me a selfish old man, screamed at me in front of the whole neighborhood, told me I'd regret crossing the Hendersons. And Lori? She was right there, glaring at me like I'd committed a crime against her family. Yeah, that's when I knew this was going sideways. That night, I saw her through the window, pacing, on her phone, working her network. Next morning, Lori was messaging the HOA board, laying groundwork for a harassment claim against me, spinning this narrative about how I was targeting her son, building a case before I even realized I was in a fight. But I just kept doing my thing, figuring reason would win out, that the truth would sort itself out. I wasn't ready for the level of pettiness and precision she brought. And then, right when I was expecting another awkward conversation, the police showed up. Lori had called 911, painting me as some predator, some threat to her son, claiming I'd been grooming Kyle with my car. The responding officer, Smith, steady hands, calm eyes, listened to both sides. Lori delivered her performance, full of trembling concern. Kyle mumbled his way through a script, clearly coached. I stuck to the facts, detailed, honest, letting my years in law enforcement guide me. Smith could see the seams, the inconsistencies, the overacting. While we were outside hashing it out, the real twist dropped. Kyle, seeing his chance, slipped away, snatched my keys from the open garage, and fired up the Mustang. Gloria, my other neighbor, caught it all on her phone. Kyle peeling out, engine roaring, the car disappearing down the street. Smith's radio lit up. Just like that, it was a full-on manhunt. GPS tracker pinging, units responding, Lori melting down, insisting her son must have had permission. But there was no spinning the footage. Kyle live-streamed the whole thing, egged on by his friends, pushing the Mustang past 90 on Highway 1, running from the police, crashing it on a mountain curve that's killed more than one reckless driver. Metal mangled, glass everywhere. The car my dad and I built, gone in seconds. Miraculously, Kyle survived, banged up, but alive, and confessed everything to the paramedics. He stole it. His mom didn't know. He just wanted people to think he was cool. Body cams caught every word. The aftermath was pure chaos. Lori tried to spin a new narrative, coaching Kyle in the hospital, but the evidence was overwhelming. Confessions, video, GPS, neighbors' testimony. The police ran the usual checks, and, surprise, my background flashed. Police chief, Riverside PD, 25 years. That's when things truly exploded. Filing a false police report is one thing. Filing it against a police chief, during an active investigation, kicks it up to federal. Now the feds were involved, and suddenly Lori's whole pattern of false complaints was under a microscope. The neighborhood, which had bought into her stories, turned. News trucks showed up. Social media lit up with remixes of Kyle's crash, Lori's meltdown, my silent patience while chaos unfolded. The HOA, embarrassed, reformed. Property values jumped, except for Lori's house, which eventually went into foreclosure. Lori got 3 years federal time for false reporting and conspiracy. Kyle did 18 months juvie, probation, and $200,000 in restitution for the car. His future? Let's just say, the internet never forgets. As for the Mustang, the community rallied. Insurance paid out, neighbors and car people chipped in. It took 2 years, but we rebuilt it. Every bolt, every chrome detail, a testament to what you can fix with help, patience, and respect for the past. That car, rolling out of my garage again, felt like closure, if closure is even a real thing. The memory of my father is back where it belongs, not just as a story, but as a living legacy. Standing here, years later, telling this story to a crowd of law enforcement and neighbors alike, I realize professional restraint beats power trips every time. The lessons are clear. Entitlement has a price, actions have consequences, and you never know who your neighbors really are until it's too late. So tell me, what do you think? Where's the line between standing your ground and becoming the villain in someone else's story? Was justice served, or was this just another case of neighborhood politics gone nuclear? Drop your thoughts below. What would you have done if you were in my shoes? And if you've ever dealt with a nightmare neighbor, you know sometimes, the wilds. Stories start with a knock at the door. Yeah, that's my story. Thanks for listening. Now, your turn. What's your take on justice, boundaries, and the chaos of modern neighborhoods? Share your thoughts. I want to hear every side.